Hi, and welcome to this episode of the How To Girl TV. I'm Carol Dodsley, better known as the How To Girl, and I help solopreneurs and service-based business owners to actually ignite the spark, passion, and profits in their business. And I do this in various ways, and one of them is through interviewing experts. I actually scour the world looking for really great people who have achieved success in their business, who are going to come here and they join me on the show to share their expertise in all different areas. So there's always something for everybody and hints and tips that you can take away to move your business to the next levels. And on today's show, I've got a gentleman joining me called Kevin Riley. And Kevin's been an entrepreneur since 1977. And he started and ran various businesses. And he also built his first commercial website in 1995, in the days when not everybody actually really knew why you would want a commercial website. You know, lots of people were like, I don't need that stuff. But he moved to Japan in 1996 and he started in internet marketing in 2006. And for those of you that are listening in that think, internet marketer, ooh, it's not what you think. There are a lot of people out there who have wrongly used the term internet marketing, and there's some lots of bad stuff out there. But internet marketing in its real definition is purely somebody who offers great products, great services, utilizing online platforms. And that's what Kevin does. Kevin now creates info products, PDFs, videos, membership sites, and he does this from his home in Osaka. And he's best known for step-by-step teaching. And it's also got him invited to do some really high-level workshops and help other experts to create products and to sell them. And it's also something that he will talk about when he's on the show in a few minutes. We're going to talk about not only how you create products, but what use it is to you. Whether you're a service-based business owner, whether you're online or offline, product creation and actually doing what it takes to get yourself and your business out there is so important if you really want to move to the next levels. So we're going to look at all of these things together with Kevin, and he's going to share years and years of experience and knowledge with you so that you can take away some top tips and strategies that you can put into your business and put into action right now. So with no further ado, let's go over and say hello and welcome Kevin to the show. Okay, so hi and welcome to the show, Kevin. It is so great to have you here with me.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
And it is so fascinating as well. The fact that I actually didn't realize I knew you when we arranged this interview, and that I've actually bought some of your products, which was really great to find that out. But what I wanted to ask you first is, you're an Englishman from your accent. You said you're part Italian,
Yeah,
and
well, I'm a European mutt. I have a little bit of everything in me, but mainly my main background, my main roots is Irish, actually.
oh
Irish
right.
and a lot of Scot, but also some French and Italian, and that's where I get the hands moving around a lot. And so a real mongrel.
And you live in Japan.
Yes, I moved to Japan back in 1996. I was living in Canada for a long time. I grew up in Switzerland, moved to Canada, and then from Canada I moved to Japan. I came here to build houses back after the big Kobe earthquake, and I've been here ever since.
So how did you go from building houses to creating products and being on the internet?
Well, actually, before I left Canada, back in 1994, I got my first what we used to call back then the IBM computers, compared to an Apple computer. I got this computer and it was a 486. I ordered it up from the States, and I remember when it had arrived, it had something on it called Netscape. And my neighbor's kid down the road had was an internet provider. I had no idea what he was talking about, but I thought, well, let's give this a try, right? So he hooked me up, and I got on the internet, and I thought this was the greatest thing. I was just fantastic. My sister was living in England at the time, so I was emailing her, and I had all these websites, and I was going around cruising all these things. And actually, by 1995, I built my first website, and first commercial website. Me and another guy got together, built a site called autonet.com, which you won't find now because I let it slide. Because in those days, we tried to sell it to car dealerships, and they had no idea what internet was. They just thought we were crazy. So, I was trying to sell them something that they didn't know that they wanted, type thing. And then right after that, I ended up moving to Japan to start building houses. So I was off internet for a while, but I'd already had the taste of the internet, and I wanted to get back to it. And so as the economy here started to go downhill, we had that kind of boom bust here. By around about 2000, 2001, I think it was the October 2001, I stopped building houses. I built my last house, and I actually took some time off and taught English for a while, which was really good because I taught English at Berlitz, and that made me a better teacher, which is what I use when I create my products. I use what I learned there. And so I did that for a couple of years, and while I was there, I started to build my business, and that's how I got back into the internet again. And now I have computers all around me. I'm surrounded by the things.
And you actually not only use the internet, obviously, to sell your own products, but you help other people to do the same, and you help people create their own products as well.
Yes, yeah, I started doing that in about 2006. I was actually had started off by creating my own health products. I'm very much into natural health, so I did a book about lowering your blood pressure naturally. But at the same time, I found out about the Warrior Forum, and I was hanging out there, and I was actually hanging out in the off-topic section. I was joking around with people like Edmund Lowe and all these crazy people that were in there, Ken Strong and that bunch, and we were just joking around a lot. But then I was kept getting pulled into discussions to do with internet marketing because I mean I've been in business all my life. I've always had my own businesses, so people were asking me these questions, and I was answering all these questions. And then I started looking at the stuff that was available for internet marketers at that time, and I thought I can do better. You know, I'm a teacher, and I saw that a lot of the guys, they were really experts, but they weren't teachers. Some of the people that were putting out products. So I thought I can do better than this. I can give something really step by step, and that's when I started. In fall of 2006, I decided to start helping other people by showing them how to create their own products and how to market them online and stuff like that. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
And I think where you said there how to create their products and market them online, that marketing bit is a very important bit because I know lots of people who are really great at what they do. They've created great products or they've written a book, but they haven't sold any or very few because it's like,
Right.
but I don't know how to get them out there. So it's great that you include that with it.
Yep.
Obviously you found that really important to have that bit there.
Oh yeah, I mean, creating the product is just one part of the puzzle, and that's actually, and I know a lot of people don't believe this, but that's actually the easiest part. Creating a product. I mean, I've created a product in an afternoon. The longest I've ever taken to create like a how-to guided PDF would be a week, and that's because I do a lot of screenshots and stuff like that, and spend a bit extra time making pretty pictures and things. But a week would probably be the maximum. However, after that, the hard work comes. Now you've got to market the thing. So a couple of important things: sales page, creating a really good sales page. And I've seen so many people out there, not in our field because they've had the training, but I see it elsewhere. You go out and you see somebody's ebook somewhere, and it's on this horrible page that says nothing about how good the book is. Maybe it doesn't even have a picture of the book. It's got some horrible little headline that just says, basically it's like buy my book type thing. I think, why? Why would I buy this thing? And you still see that a lot. In fact, I've been looking at sites right now in a different niche, and it's just absolutely horrible. I mean, I was getting flashback to the '90s. Seeing all this stuff that the flimmery little horizontal rules and stuff. I'm like, wow, what? I didn't think people built sites like that anymore. But I guess these have been around for a long time, and they've never done anything to fix them up. But you'll see a lot of horrible sites out there, and that's a really important thing: is to build a good site, a good sales page, and it's not that difficult to do. It's just like make it nice and clean, and really pumping up the benefits, showing people how it's going to benefit them to get your product. So yeah, that's a very important part is the marketing, and then of course getting traffic to that sales page and all those different things. But very, very important if you want to make any money online.
Yeah. And I think because I mean a lot of my clients are actually they're not internet marketers. They are small business owners, service
Yep.
professionals, and quite often they'll sort of say, "What? why are you talking about all this product stuff and this online marketing, and I don't know what I'm doing with that and why would I need it? But for me, it's very important that every business owner, no matter whether they're online, offline, service based, product based, whatever they do, whether they have a physical shop, they really should be having products and using online marketing
Yes.
strategies. So I'm not calling them internet marketers, online marketing to
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
if they really want to build a good business, don't they? Because it's about having multiple income streams. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah, and I mean, right now I've got this new program called Commission Stealth Bombs. What we're doing there is we're creating reports. So that information product, and what we're doing is we're pre-selling a product, and this could be anything. You could be pre-selling some software. If you've got an offline store, let's say you've got a sporting goods store. If I have a sporting goods store and I'm pre-selling people on hiking and the right hiking gear, I can be pre-selling them on the hiking gear to buy. For example, I'm really into hiking, so I have a pair of really expensive Scarpa mountaineering boots. Um, I would never go cheap on my hiking boots. It's the most important thing I think there is. Now, not everybody would know that right away, right? And a lot of people would go and they'll buy these lightweight shoes. But if you're going to go up in the mountains, like well, you go into the rocky places I go to, you do not want to be in lightweight shoes. So if I had a report showing someone who wants to start going up into the mountains why they don't want to be wearing a lightweight shoe and they want to be wearing like a Scarpa mountain boot, what a great way to pre-sell those Scarpa hiking boots. And if I've got a small offline sporting goods store, especially a hiking goods store, make that report, spread that out there, let people know why they should be buying those boots, why they shouldn't be going to the to Kmart or any of those other places to buy their hiking equipment, why they need to be coming to your store, which specializes in the really good stuff.
Yeah. And I think that is so important because you've just given an example there that anyone who does have an offline physical business is probably now sitting thinking, oh my goodness, I never thought about doing that because I speak to lots of small business owners and it's like, but I sell shoes, I sell handbags, I sell that. It's like, yeah, but you have stuff and you can really add value by creating a product.
Well, in
Everybody's
any
online.
any selling, I mean, I've sold offline a lot. I mean, I've been in business since the 1970s, late 1970s, so there was no internet back then, and we were selling stuff online. And one of the best things I ever did, it was a horrible job, but I sold TriStar vacuum cleaners for a while. Yeah, this is back in the 80s somewhere, and it was a horrible job because I really didn't enjoy the door-to-door thing, but I learned a lot from it. And one of the things is that you want to educate the customer. Now, the customer doesn't know that they need a really good vacuum cleaner. They don't know that their cheapy vacuum cleaner is doing a horrible job. We would show them how all the sand and dirt was at the bottom and it was cutting the fibers in their carpet and their carpets were wearing out quicker. Now what we've done is we educated them as to why they need a good vacuum cleaner, and then we show them what the TriStar would do.
Yeah.
And the TriStar was an expensive vacuum cleaner. I think it was back then we were selling for like about $1,400. I sold quite a
Ooh.
few of them. I couldn't believe it, but people would actually, by seeing what they're going to be saving in the long run on their carpets, they would actually turn around and say, yes, this is a good investment. So educating customers is really, really important in any business,
Yeah.
any kind of business. So by creating information products, you can educate your customers.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say to people that, again, let's talk about not all of my clients and not all of the people listening in have a physical business. A lot of them work from home.
Yeah.
So, everything that we talk about is relevant no matter where you are. You can transfer it, you can slightly tweak it. It's going to work for any business, whether it is selling physical products or services or online products. What would you say to people that say, but I haven't got time for all of this? I don't know how to get things online. Or how do I get people to come and buy it even if I do create it? What would your advice
Right,
be to
right.
them?
Well, first of all, okay, the actual time, I mean, creating a how-to guide really, if it's something that you know, which if you've got a store or a business that has anything to do with that topic, you should know it already.
Yeah.
It shouldn't that be big a stretch? I mean, even though with mine, I would go online, I'll do a little bit of research usually, usually because I want to get some statistics and facts to, especially for the introduction. But that doesn't take much time. I mean, with Google and all the things that we have out there, it doesn't take long to get the information you need. So I'll spend maybe an hour, zip around, get all the information I need, collect it all together. Usually all I use is send it to my printer, print it out, and then I circle, oh, this, good. This will be a good piece of information to use. Done. Creating the actual guide itself does not take long. Like I say, I've done them in an afternoon. At the most, where I've really done a big, massive guide, it's taken me a week. And that's while doing other things too. So because I realize when you're running a business, you're not just doing one thing, you're doing a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Creating a sales page to sell that product really doesn't take that much, because once you've created the product, you know exactly what the benefits are. You know how it's going to help people who get that guide or report or whatever it is. So now you just sit down and you brainstorm, okay, it's going to benefit this way, this way, this way, this way. Create a good headline, a story, starting off with the problem maybe that it solves and working towards the solution, which is to get your guide. All these things, I mean, whether you're solving a problem or achieving a goal. For example, with the person who wants to go mountain climbing, their goal is to be able to get to the top of a mountain. It's not a problem. They've got a goal they want to achieve. So either way, just going through with a sales letter, letting them know how they can do that, and then presenting your product, your guide, and then the benefits. I like to do like a whole bunch of bullet points. Bang, 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 the benefits. Let them know exactly how this is going to benefit it, because that really builds up. They decide, oh, I should get this, And when the price is low, especially if you're using it to pre-sell your store or something like that, you're not going to sell it for a lot. You might even just give it away. Just exchange it for an email address or something like that, so you can keep in contact with these people. It doesn't take much. It's not like a huge barrier for them to get it. Now, the thing you need to do is start to get traffic to that sales page. And I know that's the place where a lot of people say, well, wow, what do I do now, right? Now, if you're selling it, let's say you're selling the guide for $10. Just as grab a figure out of a hat. And you set it up on an affiliate program. And there's a number of places you can do this. My favorites right now are JVZoo and DigiResults, because for instant payment. I mean, which makes a lot of happy affiliates. They get money in their account right away, in their PayPal account. And they're like, wow, great, I'm making money. I'm going to push this some more. Get a bunch of affiliates to promote it for you. And in fact, if for you the end benefit is that you're going to get people to your store, you don't need to make money off that product, right? Mm-hmm. That information product. So give your affiliates 100%. Give them 100% commission. Let them make the money on it, so that it brings you leads. It brings people to your store, brings people to your business. And this could be anything. You might have an MLM business or something like that. You might have an online, like an Etsy store, or an like my brother. My brother over in England, he's got a online store on eBay. He sells computers. Most of my computers here are from his store. I get special prices, so he ships them over here. But any one of those things, you don't care about making money off the report or guide. You care about bringing leads to your business. So let your affiliates make all the money. Happy affiliates, they're going to get you more sales.
Yeah, exactly. Now, just for those people that don't really do much online at the moment, or don't get what is an affiliate,
Sure.
I know what an affiliate is, obviously, and a lot of other people do, but for those that don't, just explain to people, what is an affiliate, and why would I, what are they going to do for me?
Okay, well, it's simple enough. Let's say that Carol is my affiliate for a product. Okay, now I have a number of products. In fact, Carol, you said a couple of years ago you bought my Product Creation Lab workshop.
I did, yes.
Right. So, okay. Now, let's say that you really like it and you decide to tell other people about it. So you become my affiliate. You join my affiliate program, and that's easy enough to do because I've got that on DigiResults. You set up an account with DigiResults, which is an affiliate network. You can promote all kinds of products on there. So you go there, you set up an account, and then you promote my product with an affiliate link. It's a special link, and what it does is it tracks. So anytime that Carol sends out an email or puts it on her blog or wherever, and other people come and they go, hey, this program looks pretty good, I should have a look at it, and they go through Carol's link. What it does is it tracks that this customer has come through Carol's link to my sales page. Now, when they buy, if that customer buys the product, Carol is credited with referring that customer. And what that does is my program instantly, because that's one's on an instant commission payout, it instantly puts 50% of the sale into Carol's PayPal account. So she is making a commission for referring customers to me. Now it works different. On that one, it's instant. If you do it through a ClickBank product, then usually you get paid by check, and that might be a month or two later. But it all after it's built up to a large amount of money. And I'll tell you, that first ClickBank check may take a while to arrive, but once they start arriving, I've got some clipped to my board over here. I take them to the bank every once in a while. They're wonderful to get. You'll love them. So being an affiliate is really good. I mean, and so a lot of people love being affiliates because they don't have to have their own business really. I mean, affiliates should treat it like a business, but a lot of them don't. I mean, they just think of it, hey, I'm going to promote products. But that is their business, and it's a simple business. It's a very simple business model that you're going out and you're promoting other people's products and you're getting commissions. You're getting paid in commissions to do it. So as a person who has a product, think of it as having this sales force. You have this army of salespeople, and you don't have to pay them ahead of time. You pay them with commissions. It's instantly done for you. You don't even have to lift a finger. You know, the affiliate network takes care of all that for you. So it's really easy, which is what I love. I do nothing. You know, just automatically they get paid. They're happy. Great. The only thing I have to do is recruit them. You know, say, hey, you want to promote my product? Yeah. Okay. Great. Here's the affiliate link. Go.
Yeah.
Bam. Done. And then I never worry about it again. I have a book that I did back in the days when I was in, you know, like I say, back in about 2005. I created this book on naturally lowering your blood pressure. It's on ClickBank. I have never done a single thing to promote that book. Nothing. I mean, I've just totally forgot about it. In fact, the sales page is ugly at the bottom, and I can't get in to fix it because I can't remember how to get into that whole thing. It's just a horrible sales page. And I get these checks that come in every once in a while because there's affiliates out there. They find it on ClickBank and they promote it. I'm not even recruiting them. They're just finding it and they're promoting it. And it's like, oh, great. Yeah, made some more money. So that's basically how it works is that you start, once you get that ball rolling, affiliates will just keep coming and promoting you. And it's great. And
It's,
easy way to get traffic.
yeah, it's very much word of mouth, isn't it? And recommendations. People love to be recommended. You know, if someone says, do you know anyone that does this? The more recommendations, the better. And that really is what an affiliate is. But you're also thanking them for recommending your products. So they're getting something out of it and will possibly recommend it even more.
Exactly. And, you know, think of it yourself is anybody who's listening, um, you have certain blogs that you go to, right? I mean, I know I have blogs that I go to on a regular basis. One of them is I love cooking. So Evil Shenanigans. There's a lady out there who's got I love the name. You know, she's got a blog named Evil Shenanigans, and I will check in on her blog every once in a while and see what kind of new recipe. Hey, hi there. What kind
Hello.
of? Oh, he's cute. Boxer.
Boxer Cross.
Yeah, my dad had one. Anyways, I'll go to her site and see what new recipes she's got up. Now, the thing is that you start to feel like you know this person, right? I don't know the Evil Shenanigans lady. We have actually communicated on Facebook a couple times now, but really, I don't really know her. And the thing is, however, if I go to her blog all the time and I'm following her, if she was to say, hey, this is a great cookbook for breakfast muffins. It's just fantastic. It's got so many recipes. I'm much more likely to take her referral, right? Because you know I trust her. I know what she does, good recipes, and I see this book and I say, okay, you know what? I'm going to get that book. Guess what? She's just made a commission,
Yeah.
and I trust her because I follow her blog, right? And that's basically so you can get a lot of bloggers promoting your products for you, and they won't make you maybe huge sales all at once, but they'll continually make you sales. That's really nice because they'll just keep making those sales again and again and again. You know, a little here, a little here, a little here. You get a bunch of bloggers doing that. That can add up to very nice traffic for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That is really, you know, for a lot of people who are not into internet marketing or are not used to online marketing, that is really good information and something for the people to really consider because I know, like you said, that is where they get stuck. Well, I've got a product, I've got a page. But I've
Hmm.
got nobody that's looking at it and I'm not selling anything. You know, it's not that difficult when you know how. And of course, that's some of the things that you teach people how to do. But one of the things that I'm finding at the moment, everybody's talking about the economy and everything's too expensive, and I can't afford to give away my profits, and I can't afford to buy new products, or I can't afford to take a
Yeah.
program, or I can't afford to work with a mentor. For small businesses, and I know that some of my audience that are listening into the show, they are established, they just want to learn a little bit more and get more tips from the experts. But there seems to be this group at the moment who are really worried about actually investing in their business. And they're probably listening to you thinking, well, yeah, but that means I've got to learn how to do it, so I'm going to have to pay someone, or I've got to buy a product, or I've got to work it out or work with someone, but I don't have any money, I can't afford this. What would you say to those business owners?
Well, actually, I gotta tell you, I get that quite often, and those people really annoy me, because no, because I've, if you ever, one of the things I say to everybody who thinks that way, go out and read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, and really focus on the point where he talks about investing in assets instead of liabilities, because let me just ask everybody out there who says that, okay? I don't know if anybody who's listening here says that, but if you do, think to yourself, okay, but did you order in pizza this week? Did you go to now, do they still have Blockbuster and all those kind of things? I don't even know if we have
Yeah,
those. I mean, I've lived
yeah,
here way too long, but you go to Blockbuster and rent a couple of movies, or maybe you're looking at even getting a new car, or the family wants something or other, or you're buying some fancy Nintendo for your kid who doesn't really need it. I mean, come on, we never had those things. We played with pieces of wood and pretended they were guns. Um, and I just find it so ridiculous. I know a guy a couple of years ago. He was complaining continually about how he had no money, he had no money to invest in his business, and I hope he's not listening because he's probably going to know exactly who I'm talking about when I say this. But this guy, his van got broken into just before Christmas, and they had a couple of $100 worth of presents for their children in there that were stolen. And my immediate thought was, you spent a couple $100 on presents for your children. Are you stupid? I mean, I'm sorry, but we never. I've got children. They're grown up now. We never did that with our kids. We never would have spoiled them like that. They were happy to get something that was just special.
yeah,
And when you're at the point where it's like, okay, wait, I could spend a couple $100 on presents for my kids, or I could actually invest in a business that later on I could really give my kids something special. Which is more important? And
yeah,
I just shake my head when I see that kind of stuff, and I think, man, because I had businesses offline, and I had one business. I sunk $75,000 into the business. I had to borrow money. I borrowed money against some land I had. I had to borrow money, $75,000 before we opened the doors. So when people complain about having to spend $100, $200 online, I just shake my head and think, are you insane? You spend that much to go work for somebody. If you go work in an office, you're going to spend that much on a suit. That's an investment into your business, right? That's your investment in your job. You're going to do that. So why don't you invest that in your business, for your home business, where you could actually become free, and have your own business? To me, it's the best investment you could ever do. And when I see people complaining about having to spend a couple $100 on it, I just can't fathom it.
yeah. I mean, I get that a lot. People saying, I really can't afford this, and I'm really struggling, and I've got no cash flow. And I do understand people's fears, but I
Hmm.
think sometimes, and I worked with John Assaraf a few years ago, and he actually said it's never about the money. I think quite often it's actually about that they don't believe they can make their business work, or they're scared. And it's like, well, if I spend this money, and yet to go and have your hair done, or buy a new coat, or the new shoes, or the stuff for the kids, takeaway pizza, that they know what they're going to get back. So it's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'll spend $100 on that, or £100 on this, or even the people that are saying, but even £100 would be a lot for me. It's like, but yeah, add up how many cups of coffee you've bought, or the extra packets of
Right.
crisps in your supermarket trolley. Add those up. You're actually spending a couple of hundred every month probably. But I think do you think, to me, it's often the fear. They don't value themselves, they don't believe in themselves, And if that's the case, it's like, well, now you really do need to invest and get someone to help you to overcome those problems, because otherwise you're never, ever, if you won't invest a small sum, and I'm not saying go out and put your house at risk or your kids
Yeah,
at
yeah,
risk
no,
or
no.
anything, smaller sum, because there is good stuff. There are good mentors. There's good, you can join a mastermind group. You can buy a product that is a really good recommended product. Ask people if they've used it, what it looks like. Don't just go and buy any shiny object, because it's not about shiny objects. It's about getting quality help and support to actually create a better future for yourself, isn't it? No matter what your business is.
Yeah, and I think a really important thing right there, you just touched upon one of the things, people having faith in themselves for one thing. But also, if you're going to, okay, you could get a course, you could pick up a course, or you could get a mentor. But whichever you do, stick with it. That's the most important thing, because I've seen people, I've had people, I've had a number of courses. I've had people buy, I have a number of customers who bought every course, and I wonder how they can put them all into use. So I'm thinking, like, wait a second, are you really making good use of these? Because all you need is one course and really apply yourself to it and say, okay, I'm going to commit myself to this. And I think that's the most important thing. If you can commit yourself, because the minute you make that commitment and really commit, nothing else, this is it, this is where I'm going to head, I'm going to use this to get from here to there, then you will get to there. It's like anything else. I think I was talking with you earlier about boxing. I've taken up boxing lately. This is my thing. I love going to. I've got a boxing gym in my neighborhood. It's a professional gym, and I'm getting these guys who are coaching me, and I'm loving it. But go in there, and I say to myself, I'm going to do 10 rounds with this big bag. It's 3 minutes per round with a 30-second break. After about 5 rounds, you want to give up. You want to quit. You want to stop. I mean, you're dying. Especially right now. It's hot and humid here. Sweat is pouring off you, and you're just like, your arms feel so heavy. But I force myself. I say, no, I'm committed to do 10 rounds, and I will do the 10 rounds. And at the end of it, at the end, that last 10 rounds, I'm wrung out. There's nothing left. But when I get back here to my office, I come back here to my house and I have a shower and I feel so great. I'm like, wow, I really feel good now. I'm glad I went the 10 rounds because now I feel fantastic. And that's exactly the same thing with your business. You're going to come, if you commit yourself and say, I'm going to do this, there's going to come that point where you hit the 5 rounds, you go, wow, this is difficult. Oh no, or some little things going to show up, especially with the internet. There's so many times we run into a little technical difficulty, and I've done this. I got hacked a couple of years ago. It was my own fault. I sent my computer out to get fixed by a shop downtown. They didn't have a firewall. While it was there, something got onto my computer. How lovely, right? I mean, it's a computer
Yeah.
shop, and they get my computer infected. That thing went through my FTP and hacked a bunch of my sites. Now I could have given up right there, and gone run crying and go sat in the corner sucking my thumb and say this is it, right? Because that's about what I felt like when it first happened. It's like, oh no, look at this, and I didn't have a clue what to do. And I got a hold of my friend, and he walked me through it. He's much more technically advanced than I am, and I fixed it all up. It took about a week to fix all my sites, and everything was fine again. But if you're not committed, you can come to that point. I mean, can you imagine if all your sites get hacked? You have a whole bunch. You could come to the point where you just say, oh, "Okay, that's it. Forget it. I'm gonna go get a job now. I'm gonna give up. And go. This isn't for me." So by being fully committed, you say, "Okay, we will fix this. I don't care. There's a way over, around, under, through. There's going to be a way you're going to get past this thing." And Henry Ford, Henry Ford always said, obstacles are those horrible things that appear when you lose sight of your goal. I've said it a little wrong there, but basically that's the idea behind it. And it's just so true. If you've got a full sight of your goal and it's like, yeah, I'm committed to get there, those obstacles, they just get out of the way.
Yeah.
You'll knock them out of the way. You'll bash them out of the way, and you'll keep going. And that's really, really important. So, yeah, get a course and then decide, okay, this is the course. I'm going to stick with it no matter what. Yes, I realize there's going to be hardship. I realize there's going to be times when I want to give up, but I'm not going to give up because in the end, I'm going to succeed. And, I've had so many people who've picked up my courses, and the ones who've done that, Um, they're doing fantastic now. One of them is Maria Gudela. She makes $1 million a year now. And when she told me that my course, she took it quite a few years ago. She told me, she said, that really got me on track. I'm like, wow, I was really pleased with that. I mean, she has bypassed me. I don't make that kind of money. I'm not that ambitious. So it shows you that you can do it, and it does. You don't have to be build $1 million a year business like she did, but wouldn't it be nice to $100,000 a year?
Yeah.
It'd be great, right? And it doesn't take that much online, even with a bad economy. The economy is not that great right now. Let's face it. It's killing me because the U.S. dollar used to be worth 135 yen. It's now worth about 80 yen. Can you imagine the hit I'm taking every time I bring my money over? It's horrible. I hate it. But even then, it's still a good business to be in. So the thing is to build that business up and really stick to it. And that's so, so important. And if you get a mentor, stick with that mentor. Listen to what that mentor has to say. If they're going to give you, they're giving you direction because they know, they've been there and they're going to guide you through. Stick with them all the way. Don't say, oh, I'm going to do this for a couple of weeks and then I'm going to go try something else, because that's where I see people failing when they try something different.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I see that a lot. People have been to an event or they've gone to a and they get into a cycle of continuous going to events, doing things, buying programs, not following through, or the cycle of I can't afford anything, so they do nothing. But the thing is, if people don't take action, because you're saying there, you need to get something, stick with it, and obviously sticking with it means do what it's teaching you. Take action, even if it's
Yep.
one tiny step a day. I listened to Gary Vaynerchuk, one of his keynote speeches, and he was saying, if you're working in a full-time business, come home, spend a couple of hours with your wife and your kids and whatever else, and then work for a couple of hours at the middle of the night. If you really want it and you're really committed and you know where you're going, you will take the action that you need to take.
Well, one of the things I always keep in a lot of my courses, I'll sit down and I'll say at the beginning, I'll have a thing. Usually, the first lesson is set yourself a work schedule, right? And I tell people, set yourself work hours. Sit down with your family. It's really important that your family understands why you're doing this and when you're going to be doing it, and why it's important that mom or dad cannot be interrupted during this time, right? Because especially if you got kids. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got guinea pigs. They don't interrupt me too often. They just at lunchtime they'll squeal a lot, and that's about it.
Yeah, I got dogs.
They're over here right now, and they're not doing much of anything. But the thing is, when I was working at Berlitz and building my business, this is what I found. There was me and there was another guy there, and he was watching what I was doing, and he wanted to do the same thing. He's like, wow, I really want to do that. The problem was we would get these breaks. Every lesson there is a 45-minute lesson, and then you've got like 5 minutes in between, and then there's the next 45-minute lesson. So if you had, like, say, 2 lessons off, what I would do is I would grab an empty classroom and I'd sit down and work on my business.
Yeah.
Now, my friend, what would he do? He would go and he would lie on the couch in the teacher's room and grab a nap.
Yeah.
Guess what? This was back in 2005. He's still there. He hasn't gone anywhere. He hasn't done anything because he has never sat down and said, okay, this is the time I'm going to work on my business.
Yeah.
But if you make that time, you say, okay, and like you say, if you're working a full-time job, even if it's only an hour an evening, by setting aside that hour, those hours add up.
Yeah.
As long as you stick to it. If you're going to miss an hour, if there's going to be something like your family, you're going to take your family out to a movie or something like that, and you miss an hour, let's say Friday night you've got 1 hour set and you can't do it this Friday night. That Saturday, make it up. Do not let that hour slip by. That Saturday, do 2 hours.
But my dog's just crawled under the desk under my feet, and I'm just thinking, where's she gone? Sorry.
No problem.
But yeah, I mean, that is so important, and it is if you really want it. And I think part of the time, people who are actually in business who have not got to the level where they want to get to, they're not there yet, or they're starting, or maybe they're in the middle and they've got stuck and it's like, I can't get any further. It is that lack of vision, that lack of, this is what I want, this is where I'm going to, and I really want it, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've seen this a couple times in. Sorry, one second. Part of that drink went down the wrong way. Um, I've seen this in forums. This has been discussed a number of times, and this has been discussed in on Facebook and stuff like that, where one person has got annoyed because someone said you don't want it bad enough. But I'm sorry, it's true. A lot of times it's true. You really have to want it bad enough, and if you want it bad enough, you'll give up things. I remember when I was going to university. I had little kids at the time, and there'd be the family on the weekend type thing. Go to the park or something. I often couldn't go. I'd say, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go. The rest of you go, enjoy yourself. I've got to go to the college and do. See, I was a mature student. I went back when I was a little older. Don't think I had kids when I was like a teenager, and I was 30, and I went. But I was in engineering, so I had a lot of work to do, and I would go and spend the weekend at the university, working. Especially my computer programming class took up most of my time. It was absolutely a horrible class, and I just had to give up. I had to give up the family time and go and do what had to get done. And I just, they understood it. Yeah, you have to go get it done. Do it. Okay, good. And that's the thing. You've got to have that kind of. You've got to have that kind of. I want this. That you're willing to give that up and say, okay, you know what? Right now, this weekend, I can't. I can't go and I can't spend time with my family, but I'm going to get this done. I'm going to launch this product. I'm going to get this out there, and then I can take some time and do something. And I actually was. I don't mentor people. And I don't coach people, but every once in a while with some friends, I'll help them out a little bit online. And I was with a couple of guys a couple of years ago. I got on Skype, and they were creating a product, and it was a pretty neat product. It was a guide to something, and I thought, this is good. This will be good. And I was kind of helping them along, giving them ideas. And then they were going to have a WSO the next day. They were coming up to the WSO, but they weren't quite ready yet. And I said to them, well, what? Keep going, keep going. We only got a little bit more left to do. But they were like, well, we're getting kind of tired and gonna go to bed now. I was like, no, you stay up. But they went to bed, and then guess what? They never launched the WSO. It never happened. And I've done that. I don't do that anymore now. I don't do WSOs much anymore. But I used to do that where I would work all night. If
Yeah.
I would actually just about shoot myself in the foot because I would go and I would submit the WSO. I would submit the sales page at the Warrior Forum, and the product wasn't ready yet. So this is like putting pressure on yourself, right? Okay, my 10 o'clock in the morning, which is 9 o'clock in the evening U.S. time, this is going to launch. And I would say it's got to be done. And I would work all through the night. And at 6 o'clock in the morning here, it's starting to get light again, and I can hear cars just starting to move around. And I know that people are out there, and I'm like, wow, I didn't get any sleep. I worked right through the night, and I've got 4 more hours left to get this finished. I still have a couple little things to tidy up. I would do that, and I would get in on time, and then the next day is shot.
Yeah.
I'm I'm like half thinking, my brain is half dead, but I got it done, and the sales are pouring in, and I'm making a lot of money, so it's well worth it. It was worth it. I'll catch up with sleep the next night. I'll go to bed earlier that next night or something like that, or sleep in the next morning. But that's the thing. You've got to have that kind of dedication. When you get that kind of dedication to your business, it makes a huge, huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've done not all-nighters, but not far off, and it's been sort of 3, 4 in the morning, and I'm actually on Facebook, and somebody's gone, "What are you doing up? It must be late there," and it's like, yeah, it is quite late. Or somebody will say, "Why are you up so early?" And it's like, I'm not up early. I haven't gone to bed yet. I'll go later. But again, that's one of the benefits of working from home and for yourself. When you
Hmm.
really do need to go to bed, you can go to bed. You don't have to go in your car and go and turn up at an office. Um, so,
Yeah.
and I mean, everything that you've shared there has been really great stuff, because we started talking about product creation and how we do that, and then we started talking about the mindset, which to me is a massive thing,
Important.
because without
Really
that
important.
mindset you can learn whatever you want to learn, you know what buttons to press, you'll never really break those barriers and really achieve what you want to achieve, because it is all about you inside first that makes everything outside happen, isn't it? So
Yeah, yeah. It's I did a video a while ago. and it was all about getting rid of the employee mindset and getting the entrepreneur mindset. And they're quite different. The employee mindset is, hey, my day is done. I'm going to put my feet up in front of the TV, have a cold beer, and that's it. Leave me
Yeah.
alone. I've worked hard all day. The entrepreneur mindset is, I've still got things to get done.
Yeah.
I've got some planning to do. I've got this I want to get done. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to plan tomorrow, and then I'll take a break. And
Yeah.
that's the difference. It's that whole difference. Is that the employee mindset is the minute I leave the job site or leave the office or whatever, that's it. I'm done because I only have to work when I'm at work. The entrepreneur says, I'm on 24/7. you
Yeah.
know? My wife
Absolutely.
says to me, she always says, she says, do you ever let your brain rest? I mean, just last night I had some idea, and she said, do you ever let your brain rest? I said, no, there's always ideas there. There's always something coming. So I think that's the difference. You have to get into that mindset where you're realizing that this is my business, this is really important, and when I have an idea or when I need to do something, I'm going to sit down and do it.
Yeah.
And then later on, I'll take a break.
Yeah.
It's very different
Exactly.
from the 9 to 5. It's a big difference.
And it's one of the things people choose. They choose the freedom of not being an employee.
Yeah,
But I think they then some people get dragged into the easy lifestyle, press a few buttons or just do a few little bits. But I think no matter what business you're in, if you choose to run your own business, you have to know that yes, you can create a better life. You can have freedom. For me, it's brilliant because I can work whatever hours I want. And if I want to take a break to take my puppies out and go for a walk in the country, I can do
exactly.
that. I couldn't do
Yes.
that if I was working for somebody else. So that is what, for me, it's all about the freedom of choice. But I still put in a lot of hours because I'm so committed to getting out the other side what I want to get out. And because I'm also so passionate about helping other people create their
Hmm.
dreams and what they really want. And that one of the reasons I bought your product creation program a while back now was because I do a lot of product creation,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, and it was brilliant to actually see somebody else's perspective because I'd already created quite a few products. And it was like, well, I want to know is there anything I'm missing? Could I learn something new? So for me, it's continuous learning and development. It doesn't
Oh,
mean
yeah.
because
Yeah.
I do it, I can stop learning about it. There's always something new to learn. And I know we've probably got quite a few people listening who already have products or they already have a website and maybe they've looked at affiliate platforms. But I know that your products really take people through step by step, don't they? That you really go into a lot of detail because you're a teacher.
Well, that's something I really focus on. Yeah, I really focus on my what I want myself. Basically, when I started creating my products, is what I want myself. I want something that's going to show me exactly. I don't want to have to think about it.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a great book on web design called "Don't Make Me Think." If you ever get a chat, I love that book. I have it here somewhere on one of my bookshelves, and it's all about web design. It's nothing to do with really internet marketing, but more web design itself. It looks at Amazon and places like that. But the whole idea, don't make me think, and that's what I do with my courses too. Is I really want to focus on what. Let's see, we don't want anybody to get lost in any cracks anywhere along the way. I mean, I have customers who are in their 80s. I have a lady who started with me. She was 85 when she started. I think she's about
Wow.
88 or something like that, or 89 now. And she does a blog. She does internet marketing. She's fantastic. I actually met her in person. It was really neat. I met her in Atlanta.
Brilliant.
Her daughter, and her granddaughter all showed up there. The 3 generations of internet marketers. But I get a lot of people in that age range. I get quite a few people who are in their 80s and stuff, and sometimes they're very uncomfortable at first because they've never. I mean, they didn't grow up with computers. I mean,
No.
I'm in my 50s. I didn't grow up with computers.
No.
I had nothing to do with computers until I was in my late 30s.
Yeah.
So I can understand where they come from, and I understand the feelings they have, and that's why I try to make things very simple. And I've been told, I mean, probably one of the biggest compliments I ever had was somebody who asked for a refund from one of my products because they said my products were written for 13 and 14-year-olds, and I said, "Thank you. Here's your refund." I was happy to get that kind of that. Yeah, they thought it was derogatory. I thought it was a great compliment because it meant that I'd really covered all the bases.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think that's the same thing. If anybody who's creating a product, if you're creating an information product for beginners in anything, whether we go back to the mountain climbing or woodworking or whatever, is to really focus on covering all the steps and covering everything that a beginner needs to know so that they're not lost. Because the minute you lose them, you basically lost a customer. And you don't want to do that.
No, not a good idea.
No.
Oh dear. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put links under this interview so that people can go and take a look at your products and how you can help them, because I know that they're very good quality and that they really are step by step and have everything in there that people need. So we'll put some links underneath so that people that want to find out more about you, I know you're on Facebook, so we'll put your links for that underneath as well, so people can come along and say, "Hi Kevin, I loved your interview. It was really great. Thank you for sharing so much amazing information with us." And hopefully in the future I'll get you back again, and maybe
Sure,
maybe
sure.
we'll talk about one specific sort of little thing. But what I'm tending to do at the moment, I just go all over the place with the people I'm interviewing, because you've got everybody I'm interviewing has got so much good stuff and so much great information to share that it's like, ooh, let's go all over. But it's really brilliant, and I think you've hit some really key points, especially the points about commitment, investing in your business, and getting really focused and just doing what it takes. I think that was really, really
Sure.
key.
Yeah, well, I just think it's so really important. If you want to succeed, I mean, that's what you have to do. Simple as that.
Yeah. And I think that's perhaps the biggest takeaway for people, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
And if they want some help, look at the links below and go and find out
Well,
more about what Kevin actually does, how he can help you.
well, thank you.
So thank you so much for coming on. I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you have
Great.
too.
I have, yes. Thank you. And look, my drink just came to the bottom. Perfect timing.
Cool. And we'll see you again in the future.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm more than happy to do more in depth or more focused on one thing next in the future. That'd be great.
Cool.
Be fun. All right. Thanks, Carol.